No. The thumbnail never do right at all. The thumbnail never did do right. Let me see what they say I should do. What did they say I should do? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to CJ's Kitchen. Season's greetings from CJ's Kitchen. Happy holidays from CJ's Kitchen. Listen, you all, I'm doing my label. I'm labeling my cakes. I've started already, but I decided to come live over here and show you what my labels look like. So I've gone already and done some of these, and so have you seen my cake? And thank you. I want to say thank you for watching my video. Thank you for reaching out and commenting and stuff like that. I was thinking today that, you know, I am happy I did over that video. I thought of that today. You know, even though that one, the first one's been there for like 3 years, but I'm happy I did that one. I did it over, and it was more clarity. I'm still not 100% on doing editing, but you know, come a long way, and we're still learning how to get that done. But yeah, hi, welcome. Forever blessed Henry, welcome, good night. So yeah, these are my cakes. If you've seen the video, these are the cakes, and they're gonna go in. They're going into a store. They're going on I got some orders for a store last year. I did some, and they requested more. They actually requested more even in the new year, but at the time I was in Jamaica and I wasn't able to do anymore. So these are going into a store here in New Jersey. And also I do ship. Somebody had asked that question in the comments. If I ship, yes, we ship. Not outside of the US because it costs too much to ship outside of the US. You can ship outside of the US, but when it get to you, you might have to pay also. And so I did cake for my aunt last year, and I shipped, and I had to pay like maybe 20 something dollars to send. It was one of those big ones though, one of those half pan, one of the half foil pan. So it was a bit heavy, and I think not 27, 37. I had to pay $37 for shipping, and then when it got there, she had to pay FedEx again. You know, so the double paying, it does not work out. It does not work out. So, but I do ship in the US. So if you want to place your order, you can. The number to call for to place your order is 862-216-9664, or you can do it on the email. Send us an email at the CJ's Kitchen JA email. So, and then, so here what I did, I used some, I'll show you what I use. And I'm not putting the label exactly over that because I don't want to hide the cuteness of the cherry. You know what I mean? So on top of the cakes, I use this cheesecake frosting, and that is to keep the cherry in place so it don't like run all over. I am happy to be in with you from that year and oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I had it's so funny, like I look back and I'm like, it's already 3 years, you all. But when I look at that video and see how many views and comments is on there, I'm like, you know, and I know person be like, some people they don't wanna show you or tell you or give you the ingredients. Like I don't mind. Because I know not everybody will be able to order to buy a cake. And a lot of people would love to bake their own. I don't even know how I learned to bake. I knew the basic, but over time I figure out, because when I just started baking, the cake would taste nice because you know you have the ingredients and it would taste nice, but then it would fall apart. It would fall apart and I didn't understand, like it would be crummy, or even more flour. So then if it's too much flour, then it gets like floury. I don't even know if that's the word, but then it don't really taste like cake, but it's not that fruit cake. If you're Jamaican, you would remember that when we're eating a wedding cake, they use the same kind of method to do wedding cake. But nobody would really show you their method because everybody want to keep it on the wraps for when they are they don't want to give away their ingredients, right? So when I used to bake and then I used to sell, I was always selling fruit cakes. I would go to Mother's in Spanish Town. There was a supermarket called Shoppers Fair. They would order cake. I would go and sell slices, and then when they get paid, I would go and pick up my money. You know, I would credit the cakes, and then I would go and pick up the money. But the cake tasted good, like I said, but the texture was not good. And over the years, I saw this lady and I was helping her to bake. She didn't really give me her ingredients or anything, but the method and how I saw her did her because one other thing, I didn't want to change the taste of my cake. Like I didn't want to change the flavor, so I didn't use her flavoring and stuff, because you have people that will put even anise. I don't really like anise, which is another spice, and a spice I didn't know about growing up. And they'll put cloves and stuff like that in their cake. And some people, they use like cracker crumb and stuff like that. But over the time when I saw her did this, what she did was to put the lemon juice, the lime juice into the eggs, instead of putting and beat the eggs and the lime juice together, instead of put the lime juice together instead of this one not wrapped properly, instead of putting it in the sugar and butter. And when I asked her, she said when she did that, it made the eggs, when you use the egg, it made it a little stiffer. It makes the cake come together a little more. And also what I realized what she did too was to, she used a lot of fruits. So, and less flour. And I realized that, you know what, we're making fruit cake. Racine, I'm on live, please. That's my daughter and her kids around there. Yeah, so I gotta wrap this one more time. I realized that was a method to use, and that was years ago. But you know what? Over time, I did the same thing, and I realized I got a texture of cake. Like when I cut my cake, yeah, a crumb will fall. A crumb will fall, but listen, when I cut my cake and I bite into that cake, it's good. So I've learned from someone, not the whole thing, because like I said, I didn't change my ingredients because I like to use like marmalade and stuff in my cake while other people use other stuff, you know. And so it's nothing for me to say to somebody that, listen, This is how I do mine, and you can do yours same. God bless you for enlightening us. Yeah, I used to cook a lot. I used to cook a lot. I used to do a lot of baking. Back in Jamaica, I would make even at Christmas time, Easter time, I would do bun, and I did a good bun. But you know the saying that says if you don't use it, you lose it is so true. It is so true. If you don't use it, you lose it. And because I haven't been doing much, I kind of not so good at it anymore. I feel like I'm not. Marley, how are you?
Good.
You good?
Yes.
Are you being a good girl?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. If you don't lose it, if you don't use it, you lose it. But yeah, one other thing about fruit cake, there's a method to do it too. Because one other thing, if you use a mixer, or if you mix your cake too much, you build air pocket in it, and a lot of we didn't know that. Like, there were some tales about why you would get air pockets in your cake. They would say then your cake have a lot of holes in it and stuff like that, which is air pocket. So when you cut the cake, you see the air holes in it. Also, it would be really tight, like it's just mostly flour, because people probably couldn't afford too much fruits. But like for me, and we all know that when you're doing your cake, because one of the questions somebody was asking me is about the liquid in the cake. I don't add liquid to the cake once I start mixing. If you do it with enough eggs and the right amount, like not enough, but the right amount of eggs, the right amount of butter, and the right amount of sugar, you don't need to add liquid. You already had your fruit soaking, so the fruits are moist. And even when you're doing the blending, you don't use too much liquid in it, right? But once the egg, say for instance, it's a pound of butter, pound of sugar, give and take, you might want to remove a little of the sugar if you don't want it too sweet, right? And if you're gonna add something like the marmalade and all that, if you notice in this batch what I did, I used 10 pounds of butter but 7.5 pounds of sugar. On a regular, you would use 10 pounds of butter, 10 pounds of sugar, 10 pounds of flour, but also I removed some of that flour. You understand? Now I went in with like 15, 16 pounds because I had like 20 pounds of fruits. I have a little left, so I think I went in with like 15, 16 pounds of fruit. So the cake is fruity and heavy, and that's why they're sold by the pound back home, right? They're sold by the pound back home because these are heavy. It's heavy cake, and it's fruit cake, not light cake. Somebody asked about counter flour. My knowledge on counter flour is that counter flour and all-purpose flour is basically the same thing, you know. But here, because they have it now packaged in Jamaica, you go to the store and you buy it by the pound. They weigh it out and sell you, and I think that's why it's called counter flour. I don't know. That's what I think. But yeah, and then I have these small ones. These go for $10. Right? These are 65. These are the 9-inch. And these are 40. These are the 7 inches. Right? Yeah, so I think that the counter flour and the all-purpose flour is basically the same thing. I don't use light flour like people. You have a person that will use the cake flour or something like that. Because a lot of people don't have the time, you all, to mix this thing because it takes time. It takes time and it takes a lot of energy. And then your hand get tired. And like I said, I'm not wearing a gloves right now because everything is already packaged. I'm just trying to wrap them, right? So I don't need the gloves to do this. And yes, I'm talking. I'm not talking over the open batter. This is already sealed. Because, you know, you have some people will say so and so and so. So I'm making my, like I do know these things. So I am mindful. I am mindful. So that batter I made, I didn't even count these cake, you all. The question, I really want to try making these. I bought a fruit cake from a lady and it a bit, and I bit into here. Oh, I'm sorry about that. So I will do it myself. You're free. Oh, thank you. You can do it yourself. You're free. I know accident do happen, but you know how funny it is. Why? You know, like you're the thing. Oh my God, why? You know why that happened, but yeah, I try to when I do anything, I'm in my kitchen. I try my best to have stuff together, clean and stuff like that. See, I try to cover my hair, even though all of it is not covered right now. The braids is out, but yeah, I try to cover. But because these are already packaged, like, you know, I had a pair of gloves on a while ago. It was so uncomfortable, so I took it off because I'm just packaging. So, yeah. So I just want to say thanks for watching and, you know, thanks for the support. I want to do more. Like, I want to do more baking and stuff like that. And I want to learn how to decorate, right? And can I tell you, a few weeks ago, I signed up for a class for decorating cakes. And I paid the money and everything. And I'm like, I just couldn't find the time. And I had to cancel, you know. I had to cancel because I couldn't find the time to do it. Even though I canceled, and now I'm like, oh my God, I shouldn't have canceled because the money is now even more. You know, I probably should have done it because I really want to do it. So yeah, if you follow the method, you can't go wrong. If you follow the method, you can't go wrong. And let me know how it turned out. Let me know. And if you have a wooden spoon, it's a wooden spoon normally is what we use. You see me use that whisk the other day because I bought that whisk because I saw it and I was like, oh, this probably would be so good to use. And it did work wonders. It did work wonders in the in doing such a big batch. So you know, if you're doing something smaller, mine was big, so the amount of stuff I use, you just, you know, cut down the amount of stuff. But like I said, part flour, part sugar, part butter, and a lot of fruit, more fruit, maybe 2-part fruits or 3-part fruits, maybe 3 parts fruits, and you'll be good. And what I try to do is not to shortchange and use. People are like, oh, fruits are expensive and stuff like that. You can buy your fruits as the year goes by. You know, your fruit can be soaking, you know, way before you decide to bake. Okay, so this is where I get really tired now. My back's tired. Wish my table was taller. I wish I had a taller table. It is not. So we got these. I also do them in this size as well. Marley, stop stressing out your auntie. So my grandkids and everybody's home. Anyway, so I'm gonna say my good night. I just stopped by to let you see a little of what's happening in my kitchen. You know, production is over, so now it's packaging. Got a call of Amazon. It's like Amazon come and deliver. No. We don't say shut up to anyone. Torin, come on. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so I'm gonna say my good night to you all, and you all be blessed and stay blessed. And if I prepare anything else, I'll sure to stop by or send a video so you can watch and you can see. Somebody asked me a question if I would write a book. Listen, I can't write no book. I'm not no writer. I'm not no writer. I collect books and I don't even use them. I went into a store earlier and I picked one up. It says savory made easy. Savory magic made easy. I just picked that one up early and it's on the table over there. But I think one other day what I want to do is just to come on here and just wing it. Just do some kind of baking. Bake some tarts, some cupcakes, some something. But I got to get the ingredients. Last week, my grandson, 2 weeks ago, my grandsons, they did some fruit cake. Not fruit cake, sorry, cupcakes. They did some cupcakes. So they're catching the fever of what grandma is doing. So yeah, and we're wrapping these. And never put your fruit cake in a refrigerator. Don't keep your fruit cake in the refrigerator. Get if you're saving your cake, you get the wax paper. Get wax paper, wrap your cake and put it back in the foil pan. You get your wax paper or parchment paper, whatever we call it. Put it in the take it out the pan, wrap it up, put it back in there, spray it with it, and every now and then you still damp it with your rum or your wine or whatever. That can stay for a very long time. When you put your cake in the refrigerator, it dries it out. A young man sells cake for me at the year time in Jamaica. We say year time. I think this last year was his second year. He was selling cake for me. And he had one, I think he had 2 left over. So when I came back from Jamaica and I went to, pick up the little money and stuff from him, and he had 2 cake left. He had them in the refrigerator. And then he had them in the refrigerator. They probably were in the refrigerator for like over a month. They dry out. They dry out, and they also pull, because if they're not sealed, like I seal these, they will dry out easier as well. And I think it pulls the taste from the refrigerator as well. You know what I mean? It took me a while to go pick them up from him. And I had to tell him, when you got your fruit cake, the rum keeps it. It preserves it. So you don't need to put your fruit cake in the refrigerator. You don't put milk. You don't put any form of milk in your fruit cake. Milk do not go in your fruit cake. That's a question I was asked, if I use milk. No, it's rum and wine. And I use white rum. The other day I got some rum. My daughter went to Jamaica and I got some rum. It was, this is Money Musk overproof rum. If we're not using this one, we use the J. Ray and Neville rum. We do not use water. Water will break down your cake. I've done cake with which is so weird. If I take a piece of this cake right now and pour some water and some juice on it, it breaks it down. But I've used grape juice, Welch's grape juice, to make fruit cake, and I pour it over it just like how I would pour the wine over these, and it was fine. So if you don't do alcohol, you can use Welch's grape juice is a good one to make your fruit cake, right? So you use it just like how you do the wine and the other stuff. Um, if you don't have your fruit soaking, you boil them. It's okay to boil your fruits. You use the wine to boil the fruits. Or if you're using the grape juice, you use the grape juice and you cook the fruits in it. That juice is what is gonna, when you blend the fruit along with the egg, that is what is gonna keep your cake together and keep it moist. You don't need to add water, and again, you don't need to add milk. You don't use those things in your cake. So that's one of the things. I know a lot of people love fruit cake and stuff like that, but they want to use other things. The milk will make your cake go bad easier, shorter, and early. I've never used milk in mine, but I think if you don't have the rum in it and the wine, which keeps it and preserve it, and the day after I bake, my cake normally tastes good, but is not there. Give it like 2, 3, 4 days. Give it a week, and then you have the best tasting cake. So your cake always tastes better with time, and like I said, the way you store it help it to taste better too. You pour some wine and stuff over it, wrap it in the parchment paper, put it back in your pan and cover it. Make sure your pan is well sealed, and that helps to keep the moisture in and keep the cake, you know, simmering. All right. So I'm gonna say my good night. I'm gonna go sit and finish wrapping these cake. I still have about 10 more to wrap or something. And all right, and thanks for watching. Thanks for reaching out. Um, thanks for your likes and your comments. Thanks for your subscription. And please continue to like, share. And you have a blessed and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year when it comes. Mwah. Bye, you all. Let me see if I can hang up. I can never hang up this thing. Sorry. All right, let's see. And